So, the boss at Bleeding Gums Wrestling has asked me for a wee video, a wee hype video, to express my thoughts and my feelings about BGW's first ever event, the Ultra Violence Referendum, that will be taking place at the end of this week, Saturday, the 18th of November, in the Dissection Rooms in Edinburgh. And as you can see, here I am, on a dreary night here in Kirkcaldy, having a wee picnic to myself, although I've finished all of my biscuits and scared the doggers away. So I guess I might as well talk about my opponent for the Ultra Violence Referendum, H.T. Drake. Now Drake, you probably don't remember me. You probably don't remember the last time that we crossed paths. You probably don't remember looking down your nose at me and walking off. And I can't say I blame you, Drake. You're someone who's always taken this wrestling circus, this fighting opera, seriously. You're strong, you're athletic, you're dedicated, you're capable, and you're respected. In fact, you're everything a wrestler really should be, whereas I've been seen as the antithesis of that. And I can understand why you would look down your nose at me. I'm a different man now. I've shelved a lot of that nonsense. Obviously not all of it. Here I am ranting down on the beach in the middle of the night, wearing a half green and half black bear costume. But I do these things so people pay attention, because you all have such mind-numbingly short attention spans that something has to grab your eye, doesn't it? And I've still got that flair and fashion for doing things differently. Anyway, Drake, I'm assuming come Saturday you're going to be bringing your best. It's what you're known for. And I can imagine that you believe you'll be waltzing back down to England after the Ultra Violence Referendum is over and saying to the wrestlers you know, in a scene where you're respected, I leathered that silly wee Euan G Mackie, that wee moron in the green and black bear costume, left him a broken man in the middle of the mat. And they'll probably say, who's Euan G Mackie? Is that the guy who was a clown, a pirate, a drag queen, a goblin? And I'll fade back into relevance and obscurity where I belong, right? You better hope it goes that way. Because if it goes the other way, and I get my opportunity, the only opportunity I need is one chance, and you'll belong to me. And then you'll have to go back down to England and say, I got beat in a straight-up wrestling match by Euan G Mackie, and the embarrassment for you will be unbearable. You have to understand, Drake, that nature has multiple ways of showing you and telling you, giving you those little instinctive hints when it means do not touch. And I didn't think I quite had that. I don't think my genetics, that good fortune had handed me this key. Was it a pheromone? Could it be a symbol? Could it be a sign? Well, here you go. That's a wrestling logo, a warning sign that says, do not touch. This individual, Euan G Mackie, can be a vicious little bastard when he wants to be. I can be very difficult to deal with, Drake. And if you thought this was going to be easy, a simple wee teddy bear's picnic, and off you go to your next wrestling gig, you have another thing coming. Unfortunately for you, I have discovered a side of myself, a perverted, twisted side that I always thought I understood. Now it's getting worse, because as long as I have air in my lungs, my heart pumping blood through my body, and bitterness in my soul, I will not stop until people leave matches with me with some kind of damage to take home. That is my parting gift. Whether it be a scar, physically or mentally, or a horrid, horrid memory that you don't want to have to bring out of the filing cabinet in your head to ever stare at and remember again. And I didn't want it to be this way. I didn't know who I would grow up to be. But I didn't know it was going to be this. And I hated this person. I hated this person. But you know, the more I spend with him, and the more he flies off the handle, the things he does to survive, because you don't last this long in the wrestling business if you're not able to survive. You know, the longer I spent with this guy that I don't like, the more I understood about him, the more I got to know him, and unfortunately the more I got to like him. It's a duality of man. You know, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And so, I thought I hated what I have become, just to stop being what I hated being. But now, Drake, unfortunately for you, I've come to terms with a lot. And I quite enjoy the rapid approaching ruin that will soon consume us all. And that's where I've found my power. So, best not run away from it and come embrace it. So let's have a right old scrap in Edinburgh and we'll see who walks out. Because I guarantee you, I'll have my wicked way, Drake. Make no mistake about that.